So welcome back, and this time around we will take a look on these 3D printed custom mech shells for the Stanag magazines. This is classic army old Stanag magazines which I bought secondhand. And these in fact are the same internals but with much better looking shells. These are HK inspired magazine shells. I have them here in this brand yellow, which in my opinion is amazing color for the magazines. And we will take a look on how to put them together and which stack magazines are actually compatible with these, because different OEM, different design as we are used to the AKs. So the assembly, or rather disassembly, you push the button on the mech plate and you can slide the plate out. Here is our spring, which is 3D printed. Bottom of the magazine, which holds the mech inside of the shell and the internals. So on the second one, same thing, but it's, you can see the bottom plates are slightly different. The reason for this is that there are different internals in each of these. Now this is just the empty internal, but in this video we will change this one for an actual working internals. As I mentioned, this one is classic army. I can't even pronounce this one. So at first we will take this apart. Of course, not every magazine have this screw down there. Some have like small tabs in here, which for some reason there are holes in the outer shell for them, but they don't seem to be present. I guess I will need a screwdriver. Okay, so we will remove this screw and we will slide out the internals. You can see they are exactly same as what I have here, except one thing, and these are these steps. These steps are here for maybe centering, I don't know, because the shell itself is kept in place and in center by this screw. So I don't know. This one I cut these steps off because the shell must have some wall thickness, and while this is stamped metal or something, thickness can be low. On a 3D printed plastic part you want to have at least some minimal wall thickness. Now we can confirm that even without these steps the magazine is still there is different screw position, it seems like. Oh no, I'm just missing the nut in here. The magazine is still compatible with the old shell. Stays in place as good as the one with the tabs. Now, general rule is that we will have to remove these steps. Also, these shells differs because, as I mentioned, they are slightly or more or less different internals, different era and manufacturer, whatever. And I have two of those types, so I made two kind of shells and bottom plates and all the stuff around. So I named them type A shell, type B. This is the first version I printed, and it's missing some reinforcements, as you can see here. They will be in type B shell 2. That's not important. The shells will differ depending on the insert. Also, not all guns have like groove in the magwell for these tabs, so also keep it in mind. You might have to print a version without these. Now to the type A, that's what I call these. As I mentioned, we will have to remove these tabs, so quick and easy. They are all removed, but now the sides have to be smooth, at least up to some degree. So I will take a hobby knife and just clean them. Especially in the top part where the mag shell indent is. Now again, to confirm the backwards compatibility, inserted here. Screw everything together as it was. It will work. Anyway, so now let's transfer our insides into the new shell. Okay, it's in there. Oh, I forgot to remove one more thing, and I mean these small suckers here. And these on the back. So here we go. For some reason, on this exact shell, I had to sand these edges down slightly. what's weird is that the shell I have modeled this for is basically exactly the same, except maybe, as you can see, the curve here is slightly different. So just keep that in mind, because you might, on some of these, sand the edges slightly down. As you can see, this one goes inside, no problem, but this one had to be slightly sanded, even here. So now, when we have this, we will have our bottom place. The hole here is oval to compensate for different locations. Now let me find a correct screw. So with the bottom where it should be, you will take our spring, you'll put it there like this, and now we can install the bottom plate. And we have our magazine converted from the old Stanags shell into the new looking one. Now now I mentioned the B-styled parts, which are for basically what I call the random shells. Like this one, this is some kind of single stack. Honestly, I have no idea what manufacturer this is. Also, here I removed the tabs, and this shell came with these flip-flops I talked about, but without the bottom nut. So I designed this single piece which you put nut in, and you just glue it into the one of the shells, so it still can be disassembled if needed. This is a very MacGyver solution, but for something old as this is, I don't really mind, and I guess it's pretty universal for anything that's not double stack shell design, as you can see here. So I also installed some shims in here so the shell don't bend, because I mentioned this one is my first printed version without any reinforcements. So installation is again pretty straightforward. You put the shell inside, you put the bottom and a screw, when that's tightened up, you just put your spring element in here, push it down, and install the bottom. So these are the custom shells for the old Stanags magazines. I guess I will publish them for free, because as you can see, some do-it-yourself element is needed here, like cutting and stuff, and I really can't say exactly which shells are 100% compatible. As you could see, I have this one from which I removed just the tabs on the side, but on the second one, which look exactly the same, I had to send this edge down. So that's the main reason for why they are gonna be probably published for free. So what to keep in mind, you will have to edit your shell, and there is an A type and a B type set of parts, and if your gun don't have groove for these reinforcements around the mag casual, you have to print the shell without those in place. So it was kind of longer than I hoped for, but anyway, see you with the different video.